Hello, everybody. How we doing? Okay, so I have another panel for you guys, and I don't know how much of you love to play your video games, but we have some pretty iconic guests. Why don't you guys come on up and join us? We'll all have some fun up here. Yeah, we've got Anthony Howell, Doug Cockle, Jeff Schine, Roger Clark, and Patricia Summersett. Hopefully I said all of that right. You guys are awesome. Hello, hello. It's my twin, guys. Okay, yes, and if we need, there are some microphones here if you want to grab one too. Okay. All right. I do have a microphone here if you need anything, or if you guys want to share. Cool.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Give it up for everybody, guys. Come on. All right. So we have a couple different games here sitting in our presence. How about we start off with what are your guys' favorite characters that you've ever voiced in some of your games? Are they maybe your most known characters? Would that be your favorite? We'll start with that maybe. Who wants to go first? I see two people on the end with microphones. How about we? I'm just kidding. I don't want to make you guys go first.
Okay, I'll go first. That's why someone had to do it. Yeah, I think my favorite one, just because it felt it was such a big deal to me, was Captain America. Because when someone asks you to pick up the shield, you just do it. But I don't know that that's my most well-known one.
Okay.
But certainly my favorite, I think.
So your most well-known, which would be?
I get a lot of Resident Evil stuff.
Resident Evil. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so what makes you like Captain America over the Resident Evil?
I think just the young kid in me who grew up with like that sort of iconic imagery was just totally geeked out to get the opportunity to do that.
That's
I
cool.
never would have fathomed that I'd have the chance to play Cap.
So is maybe Captain America your favorite superhero?
No.
Oh.
But just
It's okay.
it wasn't my favorite superhero.
Okay, but it is up there.
But now
It's-
he's
it's-
definitely like top
okay.
three.
Okay, I'll take that one. All right. Who do we
Captain
got?
America's awesome. He's such a hero. Yeah. He's such a hero. He's such a leader. Well, I mean, it's really only just one game that people know me for. And it's a really good joke right now. But it's Arthur. It's Arthur. Everybody knows me for Arthur. That'll be on my gravestone. I have absolutely no problem with that. I'm honored that you guys still enjoy the work of that studio, and it took a village, as it always does. You know, you see us up here now, and we're just a little small part of thousands and thousands of amazingly talented people. These games, all love, and yeah. So,
Cool.
Outlaws for life.
Thank you. Well, we appreciate you all just doing your duties so that we could enjoy the work anyway. So, yeah.
Hi guys, Patricia here. I would say the character that brings me to the most of these conventions is Zelda, Princess Zelda. And it's the 40th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda franchise this year, which is just bananas. Can't even believe it. Also, a strong second I love is Ash in Rainbow Six Siege, and the Assassin's Creed series, Hope Jensen and AC Rogue. Those are probably my favorites.
Cool.
Hi, everybody. My name's Anthony. I'm over from London. I think probably the character I'm best known for is Morgott in Elden Ring. And I think it's probably one of my favorite characters also. I think, I mean, when we record games, we're not always given the backstory, we're not always given the lore, because the process is so secretive. From the devs, we're given enough to give the performance that they want. I mean, the writing is always really good, and you work with good directors. But what was nice was having already done the performance of Margit and then Morgott, to watch the game knowing the full story of his character and working out whether I managed to get those nuances that I wasn't completely sure about at the time. So I loved playing the troubled Morgott. And then there are so many characters I love. I've got a lovely one coming out in about a month and a half that I'm very proud of, that hopefully people will like. But yeah, I think Elden Ring and Margit is the one.
Okay. So is this new project, is it a secret?
It is at the moment, yeah. But it's a lovely game. It's part of a very well-known British franchise, and the character is kind of iconic, which is great. So I'm very excited about that.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So it's good. Yeah.
Cool.
Hi, I'm Doug, and you'll know me best as Geralt of Rivia from the Witcher video games.
Woo!
And obviously, Geralt is my favorite character, but because I want to do something a little bit different for this, I just want to say one of the best times I ever had voicing a character was Baal, the god of murder in Baldur's Gate 3. He's just so evil, it's wonderful. It's really fun, chew on an evil character, you know, so I had a great time.
Cool. Okay, and I also wanted to know that obviously voicing characters from video games in general is different from voicing, say, a character in a show or a movie. What do you guys think is the biggest difference, or have you really not been able to tell that if there was a difference between, I mean, a game versus a show? Were you able to maybe say that it was a bigger load or a smaller load, do you think? Because, I mean, I know not all of you might do shows, but you're kind
Do you
of in
mean
the
like
same
on
berth.
screen on a television or film?
Either
thing, or-
one, because I can see that being in this realm is kind of in the same world of just voice acting in general. What do you think is probably the biggest difference? Just not actually having a script, or is there a script when it comes to the games?
Ah! There it works.
There is a microphone right there for you too.
Oh, this one sucks. Yeah. So the first rule of voice acting is find a microphone that works. Usually we get if it's a video game, sometimes you don't get it till like 20 minutes before you start. And that happens more often with games than I find than with animation. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, things are so heavily NDA'd. A lot of times, it depends on the studio. A lot of them have a different workflow. I've worked on games where I don't get anything till the day of, and I've worked on stuff where I get rehearsals beforehand. I would say just fundamentally, though, in my personal opinion, I don't find there to be a tremendous difference between TV, film, and VO. I think fundamentally, acting is acting is acting. All that changes is the technical requirements around you. But otherwise, the workload on us, I feel like, is the same, whether it's heavier on your voice or heavier on your body, or there's just different things to be aware of.
Okay.
So fundamentally, I think it's just technical differences. But our
Okay.
job is the same.
Awesome.
Well, one of the things I love about voice acting that's very different is that you could technically do it naked. You don't have to wear
We do a lot of
anything.
pajama
It's
acting,
all
for
it's
sure.
all about the voice. You know,
We wouldn't know the difference.
you wouldn't know the difference.
Do you think that would affect the way you would voice over, though?
I don't know. A bit of nudity in the booth might provide a certain amount of freedom that you otherwise might not feel.
Yeah.
How does it work for me?
We need some extra soundproofing.
Instead of, maybe that's the tactic, instead of, oh, just picture everyone in their underwear, like, I'll just be in my underwear.
Yeah, why not?
Just a little bit of freedom. Okay, so another question I had was maybe how does one even, did you have something? No. I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to pass the mic on.
Just give it away. All right, but how does one get their foot in the door for something like this when it comes to voicing the video games? Like, how does that process start? Or I guess what started it for you guys to want to try?
I started out in theater. I think that's the best place to learn, personally speaking.
Like a
I
theater
think-
kid? Like,
yeah.
like a school?
Yeah,
Okay.
I went to drama school, and professionally I started out on stage as well. And I really thought that was awesome because the audience is right there, and you can learn in real time what does and doesn't work. And if you screw it up, you got the next night to fix it. Not like film, you know?
Right.
Like film, you don't see your performance till like 6-7 months after the fact. And by then, an editor has had their piece, and the cinematographer decided where to put the camera. And on theater, you've got so much more autonomy, and you learn. If you learn to listen to the audience as well as they should be listening to you, that's where you really, for me speaking anyway, that's where you really improve as an actor. And you can take those skills, like what my colleague on the right was saying, and you can transfer them to every other medium, and do it successfully. That's all you need, because acting is acting.
Okay, cool. Anybody else? Whoever wants, whoever.
I agree with Roger. I started out in theater and television, and I think, also agreeing with Jeff, I think the skills are the same. It's whether you're an actor or a voice actor, it's the same. You're creating characters based on the work you do in the preparation and the studying of the script and the character development. So it's the same sort of thing. And I think most of us got into voice acting as actors, and it was just another branch, and thankfully a huge, very successful branch now, with great scripts, great games, great actors, obviously great graphics and design. But it's a really amazing world to be part of, alongside having worked in theater and television and film. It's an equal outlet for your creativity, I guess.
Right. That's awesome. If you want,
Guys. Okay, I'm just gonna answer a question. Same thing for me too. Started in theater. I think at the time that we came up, I'm not really sure there was an avenue where you'd say, I want to work in video games as an actor. It simply didn't exist, and now it does exist differently. But at the core of it is still going to be the same skills that you're going to learn as an actor. So whenever people come to me and they say, I want to be a voice actor, what advice do you give? Me and a lot of other people, I think, give the advice that voice acting is acting first and foremost, because when you're in the booth, you're learning a certain kind of skill set, but if you already know how to use your whole body as an actor and you know how to analyze a script, take direction, make changes very quickly, that's all stuff that you can learn with physical theater very quickly as a base. Just everything about that makes sense to me too. It's not everybody's experience, but definitely I think theater is a really solid place to start.
I also feel like voice acting specifically in games, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I sort of feel like there's a bit of a choose your own adventure in acting, but then there's also like, you sort of get directed in different ways. Like I didn't know that I conceptualized being a video game actor when I first started acting. And then certain things just kind of happen and you land in certain places and you kind of go where the love is. And so, I don't know. When people say I want to be a voice actor, I'm like, just be an actor. And then
Right.
see where it takes you. And maybe you become theater and Broadway, and maybe you do film, and maybe you do TV. But if you're open to wherever it takes you, I think you'll have a much better time experiencing this career, which is full of like ebbs and flows and weird turns. And
Cool. So ultimately, it's just part of the journey where you might just fall into it, not really even expecting.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's cool. I also heard you say, Patricia, that sometimes like using your whole body. Do you guys ever find that using your body when you act, because you are actors and you can do the on-screen stuff too if needed, do you find that using your body when acting helps it come to life even more? Like, is there ever a time where you felt like that clicked for you, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah, I think even doing things like, a lot of times in sessions, you're taking on a character that has a certain physicality, and the physicality is part of what produces the voice the way that it comes out, and the intention around the character. So whether you're in a booth or a mocap stage, you're going to be visualizing things around you, and you're going to be sort of sometimes taking on that sort of physicality of the character in that way. And then you have sessions in video games that are so particular, like Barks and Onos. You have all these ways that you might be like slashing, hacking, falling off a cliff, all these things. They're very physical to do. And if you didn't use your whole body doing it, you wouldn't really be doing justice to the sound very often. It's a lot easier to
Okay.
put your whole body into it.
Cool.
It is a funny thing though, because you're standing in front of a mic, And quite often, especially if you're doing a character whose voice is a little bit lower in terms of volume and things like that, the mic can pick up like the rustle of clothing or the step of a foot. So you have to be aware of what you can and can't do physically. So while you want to use your body, you do have to a certain extent, restrict what you do. Otherwise, the mic picks it up and then the take's no good. So it is a skill that you build over time.
Is there ever a character that was really like, I don't know, like doing that for you when it came to, they're like, okay, you're going to have to redo that. We can hear your jacket.
Well, you don't wear a jacket in the booth. That's the
Never.
first thing.
Doug is always naked.
I'm
in
always
his
That's
naked.
true,
sessions,
Yeah.
that's
so
true.
it's not a
See?
There's
problem.
no clothes to rustle.
It's
Yeah.
full circle. It's full circle. Okay, that's
You might
the
have to
method.
beware of like little flapping sounds or something. But
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the method. There we go. Okay, so and I just think in general that like my perception of what it's like to voice act, I guess I still like it's such a new concept to me. What do you guys think is something that people either completely like get wrong about voice acting versus like no, you're completely right? I don't know. Is there anything that you've felt that people have said like, oh, like it must be like this, and you're like, well, actually, that's not the case. I don't know.
I think the biggest one that at least that I get a lot is,
Yeah.
is I think people conceptualize that voice acting is about like a voice. Like I can do a funny voice or I can do this cool voice and like therefore that must be what voice acting is. And at least the way I approach it, the voice, the actual like sound of the character is second to figuring out who the character is first. So it's like character work first, voice second, which I think is a misconception about what voice acting is.
I think, yeah, I can see that. I think a lot of people like, oh, I can do an impression. I could do this.
Right.
So it's more of a mind.
I liken a
thing,
cool
too.
voice to like an action movie.
Yeah.
A cool voice is great, just like a fight scene is amazing. But a fight scene for an hour and a half without any like heart or character gets kind of boring. So like an amazing voice with character is the thing you want to hear for a whole franchise.
Awesome.
If
awesome.
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Total sense. But yeah, is there anything else? I mean, do you guys pretty much hear the same thing every time?
One of the biggest misconceptions I always find is, you know, everyone calls all performance in games voice acting. And that was true maybe 30 years ago. But now, I'd say over half of it's performance capture, which is a different thing all entirely. And voice acting, you're typically more often than not, you're in a booth by yourself with sides that you may have just gotten. And you have to create a character, truthfully, using one tool, your voice, and life experience, you know. But performance capture is more similar to film and theater, you know, and we're all looking ridiculous in spandex. And that's what most AAA video games employs performance capture just as much, if not more, than voice acting now. That was the case with Red Dead. I was in the booth maybe 15% of the time. So this is a huge thing, you know, and voice acting will never go away. It's always going to be a very integral part. But performance capture now is another huge aspect of it. And that's where we can physically inhabit our characters too. And like we were saying earlier, when you want to physicalize something in the booth, it helps so much better to start from a physical standpoint with these characters too, you know, and because we all play them, and if you're the playable character, we identify with being Geralt, we identify with being Link, and I just think that helps with the immersion if we can physically do the PCAP as well sometimes, and it's a lot of fun.
Interesting. So when it comes to like the motion capture too, do you get props to do
Sure.
it? Have you?
Sure,
have
yeah.
you
You don't
kept
want to be
any?
miming stuff. We had replica guns the whole time. We got really good at slinging them after a while. Yeah.
I'm gonna need to see some of that. That's gonna be really cool. But has anybody else ever kept anything? Like, do you ever keep anything from the? Do they let you?
I kept my boots. And I asked, and they went, oh, okay, I'll have to check with the boss. And I'm like, hang on, I didn't expect that. I thought you were just going to say, yeah, take the boots. They were the only boots I wore the whole time. So I stole them. I stole the boots, yeah. And then like 3 weeks later, I get a phone call from my director, and he's like, Raj, I am so sorry. We've been looking everywhere. We can't find your boots.
They were gonna give them to you.
Yeah, they were going to give them to me.
You were one step ahead.
I know. I still have them. Yeah.
So those were given to you to wear, like they didn't just
No,
like.
you need specific boots, so they have balls on them. Because if you don't have the balls on them, the sensors don't see you. So you need the balls on the boots. Otherwise, the boots aren't boots.
That's crazy. Is If you
You
guys-
need to walk like a cowboy.
Yeah.
And anyone who was like, all the men wore boots, unless they were playing native characters, and then it was
Okay.
usually sneakers to more help resemble moccasins, you know?
Okay. Dang. Well, is there anything that you think your character had that you would like to have
I
for
tried to
anybody
keep
else?
the shield.
You what?
I tried to keep the shield. I mean, it was foam. It was a foam ring and one piece of PVC. It wasn't even a good Halloween costume, but I wanted it so bad, and I don't have it.
That's okay. We can get a little petition together.
It's too late. I
okay.
appreciate it. Well, thank you. I
We would have tried. We would have tried. All right. Is there anything you guys would like, something that your character uses that you would like to have snuck? Maybe a little 5-finger discount. You know?
It's quite hard because often the things that we're given to represent the props in the game, the swords or the guns or whatever it is, are just bits of wood with the lights on them.
Styrofoam.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, you have to pretend that this piece of pipe is this incredible sword with these beautiful jewels on it, but it's just a piece of pipe. So a lot of
Because you just need the sensor.
they just need the movement, the sensor, and the.
It just has to be dimensionally accurate. It needs to be the
Okay.
same size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you could have the real one, which one do you think you would have taken? From which character, maybe?
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I miss the fact that in the mocap stage, if you have a gun, you often can just take your props and Velcro them to yourself. So you're like, boom, and then you stick it in your holster, but it's just, you just go, and it's sticking to you. And I wish
cool.
I could do that with my phone in real life.
Oh, I love that.
Well, I didn't do performance capture for Geralt, obviously, but well, not obviously. I didn't do performance capture for Geralt, but man, I would love to have those swords. You know, I've got some kind of replicas, but I would love to for that character to have just come to life and just handed me the swords and said, "Here you go, Doug."
Right. It's pretty iconic to him. That's cool. That's cool. Awesome. Well, I think that we are actually getting pretty close to the end. And if anybody had any questions for anybody, it would be awesome if you guys wanted. But I think we're kind of getting to a point where we're going to have to get off here, let the last people go. And if anybody you will be at your booths, right? Yes. Right? Okay. Awesome. But thank you guys so much. Give them a
Thank you,
hand.
guys.
You guys are all
Thanks,
awesome.
guys.
You guys are the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Everybody safe home.
Thank you.
Some of us are at our tables right now.
Bye bye.
A little selfie with everybody.